always love seeing weird Sony stretch its legs, sometimes literally. And the LinkBuds rank up there as one of the more fascinating experiments I've seen them pull off. Why? Well, most of the time when we talk about earbuds, we care about an isolating fit and noise cancellation. We care more about keeping the outside world out rather than letting it in. Sony's gone ahead and thrown all of these preconceived notions about earbuds out the window by sticking a hole in their drivers in a mission to, in their own words, link the online and offline worlds together. Think of it like an always-on transparency mode. So let's answer the obvious question that you have to ask when you're dealing with an experiment from weird Sony. Do they achieve what Sony has set out to do, and more importantly, are these a decent pair of earbuds? Or are the LinkBuds set for the same graveyard as the Tablet P or the Rolly? Let's find out. But before we get into it, for more videos like this, do click the subscribe button and the bell notification to keep yourself up to date. Cheers! In the fully recyclable packaging of these $180 or £150 earbuds, you'll find the earbuds up top, all of your guides and paperwork, USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and a variety of what Sony's calling fitting supporters, because there are no rubberized tips to change the ear fit here, as the driver itself is like a donut. Shape-wise, the only way I can describe them is if a polo got stuck to a mint imperial. The recycled plastic materials used in these are a nice touch, and the end result is a pretty premium feeling lightweight pair of buds, coming in at just 0.1 ounces, which is 0.05 less than the AirPods 3 for context. And that is the same for the case. It's a nice and dinky case, really skinny jeans friendly for the emos out there, and this weighs just 1.2 ounces, 0.1 lighter than those same AirPods. This is all fair and good until you get to the actual fit of them. You need to wedge that donut into your ear, rotate it upwards so the fitting supporter is in the top of the bridge of your ear. Everybody can find a secure fit. Whether that secure fit is comfortable to you, that's a different question. To me, I've got used to these and they are quite comfortable, but I can see why the people might not like these. It's quite a different shaped intrusion into your lug hole. And so you've got them in and you turn them on. You connect them up to your phone via Bluetooth 5.2 and you make your way around the Sony app, which has a decent suite of customization, including changing tap controls and the customizable EQ. The first question is simple: how do you control them? Because normally you have a surface to touch or a stem to pinch or buttons to press, but here is where weird Sony has stumbled across one of the most important innovations in true wireless earbuds in the past few years, and it's something called wide area tap. Simply put, instead of tapping the buds, you tap the area next to them, because these detect the vibrations of your taps on the side of your face. It feels weird to do at first, but once you get acquainted, it's one of those common sense revolutions in consumer tech. Like, you'll find yourself asking, why hasn't anybody else thought of doing it this way? It's a one-of-a-kind innovation, and it's the most successful part of Sony's experiment here. Yes, even more important than the donut driver. But we'll get into that. Is it a perfect control system? No, there's still some things that they need to work out. Well, I was chewing a Mars bar and maybe the chewing of my jaw was detected as a vibration, and I managed to pause the music while halfway through my chocolate bar. If Sony in the future can figure out these quicker taps rather than just detecting any old vibration in this area, then this is a game changer. But how do they sound? Well, they sound good. Well, sort of. Let me explain. Technically, these tick all the right boxes. Inside there's a nice driver with a high power neodymium magnet for bass boost, lossy audio upscaling tech, otherwise known as the Digital Sound Enhancement Engine, or DSEE for short, the same V1 audio processor that you'd find in the WF-1000 XM4s, and spatial 360 reality audio. And that open ring design does make them awesome to use while you're cooking, while you're working, while you're doing chores around the house, or you're talking to others. In most situations, the music or the podcasts just blend in really nicely with the world around you. There's none of that transparency mode hiss, there's no kind of slight delay between someone talking to you, and being able just to keep these on without mucking about, changing settings to hear someone or taking them out is seriously cool. But that same ring compromises it somewhat because of the lack of like a direct isolating fit. The bass sounds a little weak in these, and while indoors these are nice and clear at normal volumes, the moment you get outside to like rush hour traffic, you're going to need to turn these up a hell of a lot more to be able to actually hear the vocals or your podcasts. And the situation is similar for calls too. The onboard mics are good for calls while you're indoors or out on quiet walks. But then when you're outside, you can easily become overwhelmed with the likes of windy conditions or passing cars. The final piece of the puzzle is the battery life. And here, it's a bit of a mixed bag. Sony promises 5.5 hours of listening time, extended to 17.5 with the charging case, plus quick charge support adds an extra 1.5 hours of juice to these with a 10-minute charge. And in reality, I hit around 5 hours of listening time with these, which is reduced quite a bit when you're on calls a lot. Now, this kind of battery life puts them down to the lower end of the spectrum in terms of true wireless earbud battery life. And this pretty disappointing situation is made a whole lot worse by the fact that Sony has built these to be worn all day. It's a big part of their promo campaign to merge the online and offline worlds, and if the battery life just isn't up to scratch for all day wear, then we can't really achieve that. So I'm sure, as you've probably noticed with the ups and the downs of this review, we can essentially call the Sony LinkBuds a diamond in the rough. They show some incredible ideas that Sony has for the future of earbuds. The open ear ring design does give you that nice merged listening experience between the outside world and what you're playing. The wide area tap is a glimpse of what will become the default standard of controlling earbuds. And more gadgets should really start using recycled plastic materials like the LinkBuds. But there are just a few too many issues to make these worthwhile right now. These are unmistakably a first gen product. And if you're comfortable with that and the hiccups that come with it, then be my guest. But once Sony figure out how to make the weird fit of this donut driver just a little sleeker, once they've improved the bass and the drivers, once the call quality is tweaked and the battery life is extended so that you can actually wear them all day long, then I'm very confident that the LinkBuds 2 will be a surefire hit. And that's it. Thank you so very much for watching this video. Now I want to know what you think. Are you a big fan of this design? Is it something that attracts you, or do you prefer to be able to cancel out the noise of the world with ANC? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. And don't forget, likes and subs if you enjoyed the video, and you can read my full review on laptopmag.com. I've been the awfully English Jason England, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.